Hello, and welcome to In Focus, a video series that brings you closer to remarkable people, bold ideas, and inspiring stories that make the RIT NTID community so vibrant. I'm Blake Nitko. It's been almost 1 year since we sat down with Dr. Carolyn Solomon. Hello. Now we're here 1 year later. We want to get your thoughts and what you've learned over this past year. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
To start off, it's almost going to be 365 days since you've been here as our president. Is there a moment or experience that captures what that year has meant to you?
It's been a culmination of small moments. There hasn't been one standout big moment because every small moment has been a lesson learned.
Those micro moments.
Right, exactly. So there have been impacts in different parts of the university. And I'm very thankful to the NTID community for having taught me all of those lessons. There have been a lot of places, a lot of rich experiences, and not a lack of ideas. Sometimes an idea comes to mind and it was talked about a few months ago or years ago, and we can bring it back to life. And maybe the time is right now. So I'm very appreciative of all of those wonderful small moments that have culminated to 1 year on the job.
Time flies by, right?
Oh yes, in a blink of an eye, honestly. And we have accomplished as a community a lot in a year. We really have. I remember thinking when I arrived, I'll take a year to listen. I did listen, and at the same time, people showed that they were ready to make some moves. So I thought about that, and I said, what are 3 areas that we have to make moves on? And we started the work pretty quickly. We started the strategic work for the college. We started to think about AI, and we also started the search for the new dean. And by spring, we had also started working on retention. So there has been a lot of work. Everyone has been ready to go, and this community has just been ready. They know that it's time for a change, and they're embracing the change, and they're not afraid of the change. I hope that I've been able to provide some pathways to change, because I do know change is often overwhelming, but I want to provide those steps to change so it doesn't feel as overwhelming as it could. I really appreciate that about the community.
The community response has been very positive. It's my community, I should know. You've done a wonderful job.
Thank you.
I do want to ask, since being here 1 year, what is something that you can only understand by being here at NTID?
I've tried to get myself out of my office. I'm meeting people in their offices, in their spaces, and every time I do so, I learn something new. And I have to travel a lot for my role, but when I do travel, I miss NTID. I love walking through the hallways here, talking with people, having them share their ideas, share what's happening, seeing what the students are doing.
It makes it feel like home?
It is definitely home. It is. And also the people here, I can see how much they love this place. And you don't get that if you're not here every day. And then I think I carry that love with me while I travel, and I share stories about RIT NTID, and it's so easy to do so because it's obvious.
I also wanted to ask, being NTID president, has that changed you as a leader or stretched you as a leader?
I think, yes, meeting people has stretched me because we have such a unique relationship with the folks on the other side of campus. We work with people here within the college, and we are a college of our own, but we also have strategic partnerships across the university. So that has been a place of leadership growth for me, working with my colleagues across RIT, but also there are amazing leaders here at NTID who also do work with their colleagues across campus.
It's connecting the two institutions.
And that relationship, I would almost call it a symbiosis between RIT and NTID. And it's been fascinating for me to learn and experience this past year, to see how much opportunity presents itself to us. I think the exhibitions during Imagine RIT, for example, NTID was involved with the whole thing. I remember specifically the bike game that NSC provided. It was a very popular part of Imagine RIT. And at the same time, there's so much happening, especially that day, that you can't possibly see it all. So I will see what I can when I can, but recognizing what RIT provides and the unique opportunities that NTID provides as well. That's really been, I would say, well, leadership is also about giving other people opportunities to lead as well. We had some leadership transitions this year. Alicia Allen is now leading our student engagement services. We have a new dean. We have some folks that have moved around internally. But it's about growing our own leaders too. Bringing in new leadership, sure. And RIT is also going through a lot of leadership transitions right now. It's just the feeling of new leadership is all around campus.
I'd like to touch on that. You mentioned new leadership. We just hired a new dean, Dr. Flavia Fleischer. Can you tell me more about how you're going to work with her? What excites you about working with her?
Many things excite me about Flavia. One being that she brings the experience from CSUN. And I think, actually, this is a historical moment because I believe this is the first time in deaf history that we have deaf leadership experience from all three of the big institutions. NTID folks are here. I bring 25 years of experience from Gallaudet, and she brings 15 years from CSUN.
That's definitely a unique perspective.
Right. We bring the different university experiences and can make NTID a better university that can lead into the next decade. And I'm a scientist, and she balances me. She comes with deaf cultural studies, linguistics, interpreting, and I think as a team, we will be a great team. I also think her leadership philosophy is very similar to mine. She empowers people. She listens to people. And I think we are going to be a great team going into the future.
I'm looking forward to see what the two of you accomplish. Now, turning towards the NTID community. You've been here a year now, and you've gotten to know the community. What qualities stand out to you?
Just how welcoming the community is, and I've said that from the very start. Also, how fast the community becomes home. The closeness of the community, both on and off campus. I would say I'm still thinking to myself, why try to do everything within your first year? Carrie, you'll be here for a while.
Sometimes you need to take your foot off the gas a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask, has there been any conversation or experience you've had in the past year that's changed your perspective on the work ahead?
One thing that I've really enjoyed this year is meeting RIT and NTID alumni. I've been traveling a lot, and RIT has done many signature events this past year. They're hosted in different cities, so I've met a variety of alumni, and wow, are they diverse in terms of employment, opportunities, the way they think. And I've really appreciated the conversations that I've had with them, especially the conversations about technology, access technology, AI, and now starting to think about new programs as well. I've really appreciated every conversation I've had, and I think that those conversations will frame what we do moving into this next year. The AI task force will finish their work soon, and that will create opportunities for what we do moving forward with technology and AI. I think it will be a very exciting year in terms of that.
I really like that you're using our alumni and their real-world experience so students can get a picture of what that world is like. Where do you feel NTID has made the most meaningful progress over the past year? What areas?
I think meaningful change has been the willingness to change. When I arrived, I already had that sense from the community. They were ready for something new and different. And everyone has been open to new things. They're embracing new ideas. Even, for example, I was really proud of the community at the end of the school year. We had the AI in Action Symposium, and I decided to sit in the back and watch the community, watch the presentations, and wow, were they impressive. I appreciated how the faculty are thinking about AI and being open to having those conversations instead of coming at it with a negative mindset. Instead, it's, what is AI? How could it be useful? How can we think critically with our students about using AI and what are the right paths forward? I think that's what I've really appreciated about the community. How they are innovative, how they think differently, especially about teaching deaf and hard of hearing students.
Now, looking forward to the next year, what are you most energized about?
Well, I have several projects in mind that I held back on this year because, again, you can only handle 2 or 3 things at once. And I'm cognizant of the community's ability to make sure that we are handling a few things at a time. We also had Workday implementation, which was a whole nother layer for a lot of people. But there are 2 projects that will be revealed soon, and I think the community will be on board for those projects. Actually, for example, right now we're doing construction in LBJ, trying to create more of a one-stop student center, and I'm very excited about that. It will be a new space for our career center, for our tutoring center, for all of these different entities. Plus, the student team now is housed in the SDC, so our whole team will be more accessible to the students. I think that's an exciting change, and it will be better supportive of our students.
Speaking of students, is there anything that you would like to tell them, thinking about the year ahead, anything that you would like to share with them?
For our students, I really look forward to their participation in our strategic work. We haven't involved them up until this point, but this fall there will be a student survey sent out where we will gather input on the strategic work. And I'm looking forward to that because students will know what's coming, they know what benefits them, they know what we are here for, and we have a pretty strong NSC leadership this year. I look forward to their leadership. We've already scheduled monthly meetings. And we've also talked about different leadership retreats or opportunities for the students to grow as leaders. And I think it will be a very exciting time in terms of student engagement with the strategic plan, conversation with administration, and shaping the future of RIT NTID. It's an exciting time for them.
It's so important for students to feel that NTID is a place that they can grow. It's such an important thing to share with the community.
Agreed.
I noticed something new going on in Dining Commons. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I had a conversation with our students back in February or March. We talked about the Dining Commons space, and I told them they could reclaim the space. They could define the space. So why not put up a mural on the wall? And the students were so excited. We have a professor, Laurel Hartman, who worked with a group of students, and we now have a beautiful mural. It was just put up a week or 2 ago, ready for the new school year, ready for the students to see it. I can already feel that it will uplift the space. I'm not going to reveal what it says because I want you to come and see it for yourself. But we are in the process of making that space a student and community-centered space again.
As we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to share?
I want to thank the community for welcoming me, and I also want to thank the community for the support of my leadership. I think together a lot is possible, and I think we can do a lot more wonderful things together in the coming years. So thank you for that. I also want to thank the community for their patience and the way that they have embraced change and are optimistic for the future. So again, thank you to everyone.
And we want to thank you. Thank you for joining us today and talking to us and sharing your experiences over the past year. And to our audience, thank you for joining us today on this episode of In Focus. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.